My wife and I decided we wanted to open and run a video game store like this probably 7 years ago, maybe 8. We were collectors. It was what we did as a couple. You know, the pandemic obviously affected all businesses. With closing, I would say our revenue dropped by 90%. It was just stressful in that I'm closing the doors and I don't know if I'm ever going to reopen them because I don't know how long this is going to last. So my wife and I decided we wanted to open and run a video game store like this probably 7 years ago, maybe 8. We were collectors. It was what we did as a couple. We'd go out, we'd hunt for video games we needed, and it got to the point where we had so much extra stuff that it was overflowing our house, and we decided we wanted to do something with it. So we actually started in flea markets, and people would always ask us, "Where's your shop? Where's your shop?" So here we are. We finally opened one. When we first started, we were very small. If anyone has been to our original location, they know it was about the size of a closet. From then to now, we've grown pretty much exponentially every year. We're getting bigger and bigger. We're always adding new stuff to entertain people or draw people in. We just put the arcade in not too long ago. So then to now, it's been going very well.
You got married, right?
Yep.
All right, we'll give you 20% off.
Oh, thanks.
What I did before any of this started, actually, I'm a plumber. So I was in the trades, and that actually funded a lot of our collecting. The whole story is my wife bought me a Nintendo for Christmas one year when we were still dating. We weren't even engaged yet, and she bought me 2 or 3 games, and I said, okay, I want the rest. So that's how we started collecting. But I was a plumber. Before that, I worked for Chrysler. So I didn't come from a video game or a gaming background, so to speak. I didn't grow up in it. I didn't even have a video game console till I was 18. Why Bowling Green? Bowling Green, my wife actually grew up here in town, well, close to town. She's actually went to Eastwood High School. So not Bowling Green High School, but close enough. Her parents still live about 10 minutes from here. And the truth of the matter is market research. There was a store in town when we got here, but they weren't doing a ton of video games. They were doing more tabletop, Pokemon cards, stuff like that. So what it really, really boiled down to is we were driving down the street, saw a place to rent. We went and looked at it, and the next day we signed papers. It was kind of a really quick thing. It just kind of snowballed quickly. We'd always talked about opening a store, and then we opened one, not a month later. So Bowling Green works great for us because, well, the college is here, obviously. Downtown Bowling Green works just because foot traffic is constant. And with the college being here, every year there is a new customer base that comes in that finds us. So Bowling Green is great for our business model, whereas other towns probably wouldn't be. I don't sell toys, I don't sell video games, I sell nostalgia. So when someone walks into the store and they see, I don't know, a game that they played when they were 12, they are instantly transported back to when they were 12. So I help people relive that time in their lives. It's important for people to be able to, and I wouldn't even say just relive their childhood, just go back to a simpler time. Is what it boils down to. Right now, with everything with COVID, everybody's been locked up, and we're all kind of miserable. 2020 was the worst year ever. It's important because it lets them get away from that. It's an escape. People always talk about video games being an escape from reality. Well, sometimes you need an escape from reality, and my store helps people do that. Whether it be, you just want to sit down and play Dr. Mario because you remember playing it when you were a kid, or you want to go and, I don't know, buy a G.I. Joe because you had him when you were a kid. It's an escape from the everyday stresses and pressure of life. I think that's important. You have to relax sometimes.
Ready for it when it's dead during the summer.
Oh, I see.
The pandemic obviously affected all businesses, not just small businesses. We're talking the large corporations too, but small businesses in particular. What's interesting about the video game industry is it affected it in a way no one thought it would. Video games have soared, not only in value, but just everybody wants them. And that goes back to my point about an escape from reality, a nice way to just relax. So truthfully, our store has done really well during the pandemic, and it's a lot thanks to our customer base that we have. We have great customers that have been loyal to us and been there to support us, that have reached out to us when we were shut down for 2 months, because that 2 months was a very harrowing time because we didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know if we'd be able to reopen.
Obviously, Rockham had to shut down, just like everybody did, and it was, yeah, I mean, you worry about all of the businesses here. They're small
Hmm.
businesses, and you want to keep them
And
here
support them.
and
Yeah.
support them. And obviously, they had to figure out what they were going to do and how they were going to keep their doors open. Because obviously, you have to pay rent. You got to keep things going, and how are we going to get product, and there's so much to think about. And so we were obviously helping them, and they were helping us keep busy.
Yeah.
So we were purchasing things from them and figuring out, okay, how are we going to have a no contact drop off or pickup or stuff like that.
Yeah. For a little while there,
Yeah,
John even, when we purchased a game, he would bring it to us at our house.
put it in the mailbox.
Put it in
and
the
we'd go-
mailbox and
we'd
we'd go
go
there and
out
get
and
it.
get it,
And
yeah.
so that was pretty awesome.
The business changed during the pandemic. We never used to have an online catalog to where you could see what we had in store. And a lot of the reasoning behind that is because our point of sale system, our POS system, is not designed to integrate online sales with what we have in store. So when we were shut down, we had to think quick on our feet and figure something out. My wife built that. It's a really easy Excel document. Not too hard to navigate. You can see what we have, what we don't have. We try and update it as often as possible. I mean, that's a big change for us. Other big changes obviously are the masks and sanitizer and wiping down the arcade all the time and all that stuff. But the Google Doc surprisingly has actually helped us a lot too. A lot of people will go on there if we have something. They'll call me, hey, hold that, I'll be right there, before they come in, which is a bit different from pre-COVID times, because most people would just come in and browse and, oh, they do have it, I'll come grab it now, or I'll grab it now, whereas now they will check first before they come in. With closing, I would say our revenue dropped by 90%. We were trying to do some online stuff, but when your business isn't set up to do it, we struggled, clearly. And I know friends of mine that do a ton of online and their sales soared. I know one guy did $250,000 in the 2 months that he was closed, but he was set up to be online and we weren't. So I'm sitting at home and I'm getting depressed because I'm sitting at home not doing anything useful. It's terrible. So I actually made a schedule, even though we weren't open to the public, for me to come in here, 5 days a week just to do something, try and do something anyways. Yeah, I worked on a lot of stuff. Worked on a lot of arcades at that time too, trying to get everything up and running, which was fun because I've never worked on arcades, so I had to teach myself. The pandemic, for all the horrible things that it has done to us as a people, we'll look back on it not fondly, but hopefully as a stepping stone or a springboard for what's to come. If we could survive through that, we're going to stick around for quite a while. Because, the concern is always with a small business, how long are they going to last? Whether it be me or it be a pizza shop, it's how long will they last? And I think that now that we've made it through that, I feel like we can get through pretty much anything that comes our way.